Hey, have I seen you before? I think I have seen you before.
I told you that?
Yes.
Oh, really?
You don't remember that.
Oh, that used to be like my... that used to be my icebreaker. Welcome to another funky episode of the Engage and Inspire podcast. Today's guest is a former Femina Miss India Goa. She's a model turned a grooming and etiquette and pageant coach. She's the founder of the Audacious Finishing Academy. She's also my partner. On this episode, we're going to talk about what it takes to be a successful beauty pageant queen and also everything that it takes to build a successful love relationship in today's times. Let's give it up for Audrey De Silva. Boom shakalaka, it's a beautiful day, as I always say. I'm your personal happiness coach, Clint Verghese, and I welcome you to another funky episode of the Engage and Inspire podcast featuring Audrey De Silva, founder of Audacious Grooming Academy. You're also an ex-Miss India finalist, 2017, a live performing artist. This is what it is right now, my girlfriend.
It feels good. You kind of given a purpose to everything. I think and you're not giving up on this relationship. So I think that's something that's nice about it.
True. I truly feel that it's the purpose that becomes like the defining factor for anything that we do, right? Let's look at it this way. You're a mass media student, did your journalism from college, graduated as a journalist, but you didn't pursue journalism. Rather, you're in the glamour industry, you perform, you're a live performing artist, you empower other women by helping them, groom better, learn better, speak better. So tell me about it. Like, what was your vision with Audacious? Like, a lot of people would be asking, I know when I tell my girlfriend is a grooming and etiquette coach, and she's also the founder of Audacious. So people ask me, what is Audacious? So why don't you tell me what Audacious is?
So Audacious is it's a finishing school. So there's this concept that very few people who know about it know exactly what a finishing school is. So finishing school is a place where back then, long ago, people used to send their daughters to get trained for marriage.
Oh, wow.
And when you say trained for marriage is where they learn a lot of all these the work that you do at home. Then also you become like a beautiful woman and you come out. You go as a girl, you come out as a lady, not lady, but then you come out
as... You learn to groom well.
You know how to cook, how to do everything.
So this is an English concept of...
Exactly. So...
that's exciting.
Then a lot of prince and princesses are sent there to get trained with etiquettes and how do they have, when they go out, meet people. So socially, how do your social etiquettes.
Oh, nice.
So this is what you learn. Now, I wanted Audacious to be the only place where people can also come, build their confidence in terms of public speaking, because I've been a public speaker and I've realized how difficult it is to speak well. And when I say speak well, is speak with confidence, because everyone speaks. You are speaking to me, I'm speaking to you, we all speak every day, but how do you speak with confidence?
Does matter a lot.
Exactly. And so I wanted people, I wanted to be that person who could help people to be a better version of themselves.
Oh, wow.
And when I say that, I wanted them to be more confident. And it's not like I always say that, God has made us beautiful, everyone is beautiful, but it's on us on how we kind of transform ourselves to be better and be a confident person out there.
Everybody knows a lot about since your Miss India days and maybe a little earlier than that. That is what, 2017?
2017.
So let's go back a decade in time when you were that tomboy, apna bantai, chilling in St. Andrews College. St. Andrews College, right?
Andrews. I was in Nationals first, then Andrews. I've changed 4 colleges.
You've changed 4 colleges. Tell us about that.
I started as someone who was kicked out of school.
Oh, yeah.
I was kicked out of school when I was in 8th standard. So Hence, my math is so not good because
Okay.
I didn't do my algebra and geometry because 9th standard was skipped and then I had to do 10th directly.
Ah.
So,
How much is 8 times 7?
so I was-
A 5th standard boy or girl would have answered that. Come
listen
on.
to what I'm saying. I'm in the
Okay.
mood. Okay, let me talk.
Okay.
So I was kicked out from school was not because I was doing something wrong back then. It was just because of a lot of, because I was in a girls' school. So a lot of jealousy, a lot of drama that happened because I've always been that kid who wanted to do something out of the box. So I was a dancer. I used to dance during school time. I used to love doing all of that. And then I had to give my both private 10th. And when I went to college, so I was a tomboy throughout my college days. So I went to college first year. I entered as a tomboy. Didn't know about, I had a group of people. Like my friends were all boys. I didn't have girls in my group. So I just, I was a proper tomboy who used to be pura, jaise you said, bantai. I used to be that bantai because I was in national college. So I have been there in Bandra all the time. And then my friends and all, they used to be like, "Arey Audrey bhai kidhar ja raha hai?" And
So from a bantai to beauty queen, huh? Wow, that's a great transformation.
Yes.
So what inspired you to, just kind of evolve? I wouldn't say to a better I don't think there is any, beauty is everything, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So I don't think it's about who, it's this version of you that's more beautiful or the other tomboyish version of you that's more beautiful. I think, it just has its different utilitarian purpose, right? Like in this avatar of yours, you're able to come across in a certain way and so on and so forth. But because I spend a lot of time with you, I see the tomboy, Audi,
You see the real me.
No,
But this is real. I am
this is
real
very-
like this, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a very exciting conversation because we all talk about the different avatars of ourselves, right?
correct.
Like what we are with friends is not necessarily what we are with our family or at work and so on and so forth. So which is the real part of ourselves? So I think, and of course, we have maybe a different slightly image on social media, on Instagram or whatever. And I think the most exciting part about it is when people say that this is the real me, is the one, let's say largely that you spend a lot of time with, you identify yourself as who you are at home or with friends is largely what we consider ourselves as the real part of us. And the enhanced version of ourselves, let's say for the social media or at work or, when we are on stage or in front of the camera, it's a different version of ourselves largely. But why is it not us? I truly believe that all of that is a part of ourselves. Of course, we know to kind of switch from A to B, B to C, C to D, whatever. But we are a mix of A to Z. It's not that we're just one. So do you feel you identify yourself as a certain person? Because, in our discussions, you've always said that you're not a people's person. And I have always seen how people enjoy your company and you're such a chiller to hang with. You were also Miss Vivacious, just getting a brand plug-in done. Miss Vivacious 2017 Miss India. Is that how I call it?
So, yes, Miss Vivacious was a subtitle I had won during Miss India. But I've always been that person. So, so when I did Mrs. India, when I was training the contestants of Mrs. India, one of the reasons, the director also told me that we got you on board is because, one, we know that you're great in this business. but the main part they told me is that we want people to know that beauty queens are not always like this. And they are also vivacious. They are themselves and they are... it's not necessary that someone who's a beauty queen will always have to be very poised or very, upright and think about what people around her are thinking. No, I mean, that's not me. At least I don't know. I don't
it's
want to
not limited to only that.
Exactly,
you can express yourself in a larger way.
Exactly, because when you see all these Disney movies that are coming up on Netflix now, you see how these princesses are literally trying to be themselves because you don't need to be a certain way. And I've always been that way. I've been good to like you said, like a chiller around people. I do everything that I like and I don't think about how others will think about me because I'm happy in my own skin and I enjoy my company. So I don't think that I'm a certain way. Yes, if you say that I'm a people's person, like I'm not a people's person, is because I like I've started loving to live my life by myself, and that has somehow traveling alone and being to myself has made me realize so many things. You know, it has also helped me launch Audacious. So I like it, and yes, when I have people around me, I might be their best friend around to chill with.
Yeah. So basically, you are a people's person, but you enjoy your company.
I love my company.
You enjoy your company altogether.
you've
Wow, that's a
seen
great
that.
thing. Yeah. I think one of the biggest problems and challenges for a lot of us is the inability to spend time with ourselves, right? Because the problem is when we are all by ourselves, we need some device to quickly plug into a different world, just to be by yourself with your own ideas, with your own thoughts. I think that comes with a lot of you got to work it out. It's like you know you got to learn to pull that big dumbbells, you know, to do that dumbbell exercise. You got to do it a lot of times, so that the next time you go, it becomes very easy. Just like that, you got to spend a lot of time with yourself, figure a way to keep yourselves engaged, entertained, or inspired, or whatever.
True. I think people need to find how to enjoy their own company, because I used to listen to a lot of people say that yaar bore ho jate hai ghar pe, what do I do? Every time they want to go out, do something. And I have always been that person who loves sitting at home. In fact, throughout the lockdown, I was there was this one table, I had made it as my work desk, because I couldn't just not work throughout the lockdown. I was looking for some different ideas, and God's been wonderful that I was actually working throughout the lockdown. So I used to watch a lot of documentaries. Lockdown was something that helped me watch a lot of documentaries and open a lot of, like, get close to myself. And
so the lockdown was very helpful.
Amazing. I think it was the best, because I've always been that person who's loved. So I used to take a break from Bombay to go to Goa to work and also spend some time with myself. So I used to go cycle in Goa. I used to go sit near the beach alone. I used to do all this alone. I've gone to a bar, got myself a drink also alone. I love going out for dinners with myself. I've been that person. Now that I'm in a relationship, it's it's very rare that I do something like that. But I think it's very important for someone to understand, to love themselves. Because first, when you prioritize yourself, you will literally understand the pure meaning of life and prioritizing others and other things in life. So I think one should definitely find that spot where you can just go, relax, sit and talk to yourself and enjoy every moment of life.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think solo time is very important because it kind of gives you a break away from a lot of cluttered thoughts. I like the fact that you brought in a very interesting point that you used to do a lot of solo travel, spend a lot of time by yourself when you were single, and now that you're in a relationship, you don't.
I was waiting for it.
No, so I mean it's great. I would like to hear that, because it's always a good. It's always great to have a perspective. What is the difference living a single life and being in a committed relationship? Like what in your opinion is the difference between single life and committed life?
Okay, so I won't talk for others, but I'll talk for myself here.
Perfect.
Is that for me, I've always been that person who's been extremely close to her parents. And you know that. I've been extremely, like, my parents decide for me. They decide that what are you supposed to wear, what are the jewelries that, my dad does my styling, my mom decides my food menu. So literally that close to my family. And then my life used to only revolve around work, family, because I told you, I chill only with people who I'm very close to, or either I love chilling with. So hence my work, I used to go work, finish my gigs or whatever, and then I used to come back home and chill, sit with mom and dad. And it used to revolve in such a way that I used to work, come back home, sit, tell them what did I do the whole day, and then go to sleep. So now when I have got into this relationship, now it's like I work, then I come back, tell my parents, and then I have to tell you. So you understand? So I don't get the time for myself, because till the time I finish talking to you or my parents or do whatever, it's midnight. I mean, and I need to sleep, and then I'm throughout the week with them, weekend with you.
Yeah.
So So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it limits me from, you know, having some time to myself, but of course, you know, priorities change.
Yeah, priorities change.
Exactly,
all the more when you're in a
priorities do
relationship.
change,
Yeah.
and it takes a while to work, you know, to adjust. You know, to adjust into something that you're trying to work on.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't want to give up on that because you really like that. You know, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't have really want to adjust into something like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I think I would totally tell people to get into a relationship because you make me happy, and I think that that it's beautiful. And I have no complaints about not having my own space because with you I feel complete and I think I'm fine. Oh my
Don't
god.
say you don't have your own space. What are you
No,
saying?
I mean not my own. I do have.
What the hell are you talking about?
I mean, I didn't say. Like, you know, now when I think about traveling alone, I know that we can travel alone.
Yeah.
I know that we can do it, but I would prefer doing it with you. I would prefer traveling with you.
All
So
right.
I'm not saying.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I think everything in life has its own ups and downs. And for me, I feel that there is struggle and struggle throughout the life. Life is struggle. Do anything in your life, get into any task, there is struggle.
Yeah.
You know, so I think dark side, I wouldn't say something as dark, but then you know, there are 2-3 things I feel people should do to avoid the dark side. One is if you get into this, believe so much in yourself that you don't want to give up because you need to know. And when I say believe so much in yourself, doesn't mean that be overconfident, because sometimes when you're overconfident, you tend to expect a lot of things because you know I can do it.
Yeah.
And then you expect, and expectations when you know it doesn't reach to your expectation, you tend to be heartbroken. So I think that be confident about yourself, believe in yourself. And another thing, while believing in yourself and being confident, I think you need to be consistent towards whatever you want to do in life. And have a great vision, because if you have a great vision, you exactly know what do you want. It is fine to have different ideas, different goals, different ambition that you have in life, that you know, mujhe ye karna hai, mujhe wo karna hai. Try everything.
Yeah.
But at the end, you know, stick to one thing that you want to work on. Then once you're successful in that, then go ahead and do other things to grow that one thing. You know, so
There's
yeah.
the entrepreneur in you talking now. That's great. I think I'm with you on that part altogether. So the fact that you got to be confident, you got to believe in yourself, a strong.
See, there are ups and downs because glamour industry is such that the competition is so high here. For example, you know, pageants.
And the shelf life also.
Exactly,
right?
shelf life of women also are. You know, if once you're big, it's fine. You know, you can be. Today, even Madhuri Dixit is still working.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous. She's flawless. She's still doing something that she's doing. Malaika Arora, beautifully doing whatever they're doing. So, so I'm not like. If you can do it, again, consistency. You know, you just need to be consistent. Malaika Arora might have not even skipped her, you know, gym workout or whatever because she's so hot to be that.
Discipline is the core.
Discipline, yes. So, but when you see pageant, there's only one winner. So the kind of competition that you go through, the kind of stress you go through, I think one should work on their mental health very importantly. When you're in this glamour field, because what happens is with the kind of competition that you have, there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of you know, discomfort. You don't feel, you know, confident about yourself. Your morale goes down, and I have been through all of that. There's a lot of stress. There's and your lifestyle is such that you need a good financial, you know, backup. When I say financial backup, is do it by yourself, because I did it by myself. So I'm not saying that financial backup means mom, dad ki taraf se. If you have it, you're lucky. But I think you are even more lucky when you do it yourself. So you understand the worth. Yes, you understand the worth of it. And so yeah, I really feel that one should understand all of these things and be ready mentally to kind of accept the challenge that comes your way, because there are challenges, and you need to fight that. And like you said, you know, fight or flight. So,
yeah, it's the fight or flight mode, right? Because I truly believe, and I constantly talk about this through my videos, through my content across on social media, the importance of a strong foundation of values, ethics, and morals.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you have that strong foundation, no matter whatever happens to you, if your foundation is strong, it won't shake you badly. You might get hit, but you know to withstand those
Exactly.
hits, right? And you're very right about it. The importance of emotional or mental well-being in today's
Correct.
times.
It's so important,
No
yeah.
matter whatever job you do or what industry you're
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
you're working in the corporate field or you're in the glamour industry.
Yes.
There is the importance of that strong foundation. Indeed.
Yes.
That's true. What does it mean to empower women? Because you've been bringing in the whole dialogue since the pandemic hit us and the whole lockdown happened. From an artist, you kind of transitioned into like a digital coach. And in my opinion, if I'm not wrong, you were one of those first ones to have actually come up with like a digital module altogether. You start coaching people. So tell us something about that.
Okay. So when I launched Audacious, I had different things in my mind about, I'll tell you later maybe. But then there were a lot of things I wanted to do. I wanted to do it offline. I was looking for studios. I was looking for places where I could conduct my workshop. I didn't know how, what. So hence I did like a pilot workshop in Goa to understand. But then boom, pandemic hit and I didn't know what to do because I knew for the fact that, somewhere that shows ab nahi milenge. And for being someone who's earned by herself and has to, kind of be, sustain into this, I said, what do I do? And I had just launched my brand. And when I said my vision was to kind of help people be a better version, how do I spread the word? Because people don't even know Audacious. And they didn't even know, they couldn't even pronounce. They thought it was Audacious because it sounded delicious. So first it was, I had to register this in their mind. The name was, my whole goal was to register. I said, 1 saal bhi ho gaya, so I have to kind of register the name in their mind. After registering the name, they need to understand what I do because it was so difficult initially, Clint, to tell people that, I am a coach who helps people to kind of be, one is confident, help them with dining etiquettes, grooming. So it's an image coach, you're an image consultant, but I focus mostly into, soft skills and all of that. So when I started online, I didn't even know how to do it because obviously, you're sitting in front of a laptop, but I didn't know Zoom and all of that because pandemic started and then you realize. I feel that when you want to do something so bad in life, you automatically open doors for yourself. And life also, like I said, I believe a lot into all of this. And I think that one door that opened for me.
Yeah, one door that opened for you.
The one door that opened for me was when I get a message on Instagram by this event company in Dubai that in April, so March was the time when the lockdown happened, and April there was this event company which messaged me and they're like, we're doing an online webinar and we've seen about your course and do you want to kind of come as a panelist and speak about it? I didn't know anything. What am I supposed to do? I just put my laptop on. They said, you just have to put your laptop camera on, come there and speak. I said, okay, I don't mind. So I went there and that's when I realized that there are chat box, people are talking, you're simultaneously listening to them, you are talking, there are people, there's a tool that can see a lot of people together and all of this like Zoom. And
this
I realized,
is what, April 2020?
April 2020.
Wow. That's quite early
exactly in 1 month. So that's when I spoke to my agency, which was managing me, and I told them that let's start something like this, let's do something like this, and that's when we got in touch with Insider, booked my show, and kind of started ticketing online courses, and I think it went so well that I got more confidence, about the whole thing that I can do now. And then Audacious kickstart. I got Mrs. India, one of the biggest projects for Audacious in the first year, during a year which was so difficult for a lot of us. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's just a vision, idea, and your consistency. Honestly, I really feel.
How to become a confident version of yourself, a better enhanced version? How do you become more confident? Let us know in how can our viewers who are watching
Hmm.
us become more confident?
Okay. Am I not supposed to ask you questions at all?
You can ask me, of course.
Yeah, it looks like you're just interviewing me.
No, I'm just like we are excited to know. Like, would you like me to tell what would it take to be more
Yeah,
confident?
you tell me what does it take? Because I do that. I make people confident, but I make them confident in a lot of aspects. Like
Yeah.
for me, it's makeup, hair, skin. Like for example, the transformation of like doing a smile
of your
makeover.
clients, yeah.
My clients you've seen. From their fitness to their skin to their makeup to their outfit, I think all of this together,
To how they
and to
speak
make
and how
them
they
work on
walk.
scripts and all of that, how they walk, how they talk, everything.
Yeah.
For me, that's the course I provide, and that makes them confident. You tell me without even taking up any course, because I have taken up a course. Hence, I exactly know what am I supposed to do. And I've been there, done so many pageants in the past. You tell me how, because you have been someone who's more energetic than me.
Yeah. My
who's-
testosterone levels are very high. What to do about that?
But you've also been that person who's always like boom shakalaka,
Yeah.
pump it up, and so you tell me what makes you confident. What will help you? Maybe you give us a tip.
So, in my opinion, what helps you become more confident is whatever you do it many a times, you get better at it.
Correct.
When you're better at
Practice.
something, you do it better. When you
Correct.
do it better, there is a self-confidence within you, which kind of helps you shine through, right? So I feel consistently working hard towards whatever you want to do, whatever your goals are in life, will make you a better person at whatever you want to do. And when you perform better in anything, right? Be it maybe cooking better makes you feel more confident. It makes you feel more confident to host a dinner party with friends.
Correct.
Speaking better helps you connect well with others. And at the end of the day, largely it's when we say a better version of ourselves, don't you think it's basically what we assume of what people think about us, right? Like that's how we are trying to get better, right? Like a larger idea of how do we say we are getting better? We're confident because it's about we're looking at people's idea about us. There is a reflection we want to see in people's eyes when there is a sense of validation, and I think that's what social media facilitates also, right? Like we put up a best picture of ours, we choose a picture, put an enhanced version of it, Photoshop it, then put it online, wait for people's validation on it. It makes us feel more better, right? And hence, and just on those lines, you would have realized that a year ago, the way kind of pictures that you would put, and consistently 365 days now, you've kind of put up pictures. You now know what looks better, how a picture can be even more enhanced, what sort of a pose is better, or so on and so forth. So I think, in my opinion, how to become confident is just by practicing again and again whatever you want to do, whatever you want to excel in, because that in itself by default kind of makes you feel better about yourself. When you feel better about yourself, you naturally radiate more confidence, and there you go. That's the answer to how to be more confident, in my opinion. So at the end of the day, it's how you feel better. It's just that there are different ways to feel better, as you said.
Yeah.
Wearing better clothes will
Yeah.
make you feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Speaking well will make you feel better. Learning to, the ability to do some skills like, singing, dancing, whatever your skill sets are, if you're good at a specific skill set, it'll again make you feel better about it. And then there are, as a happiness coach, I talk about how there are certain tools that you should work on, use to make yourself feel better. And that's purely thought driven. That thought, even if you're not physically maybe the way an enhanced version of yourself, but even if you're not wearing that fanciest of the clothes or the makeup on, can you still feel better? Can you still feel the way how you would feel? And for me, it's about that, because I try to practice that every day. Of course, I feel a certain way when I'm dressed to the T and, I look perfectly, my hair is done, everything is perfect to the cut. But I don't, for me, I tell this to myself, that's not just my best version, because I can be the best version even when I'm in my chaddi banyan, just woke up from bed. Because that is there from within. I don't need an additional support. The additional support makes me feel better, but it's not just that helps me feel better. That's my idea of it. And so that's how I think you can become more confident in life.
I think I agree with everything you said apart from the social media validation. Because I kind of believe that, like you said, that everything, even if you wear your chaddi banyan and you're still like comfortable in that, because that's how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be comfortable in whatever you wear, whatever you do.
Yeah.
And of course, practice. I think practice makes a man perfect, as rightly said, is because if you don't practice, you cannot do what you want to do in life. Even when we train for pageants, I trained since 2012, and then 2017 was when I competed. So that was like 4-5 years of complete hardcore training that I had to go through to reach to, being the finalist of Miss India. But when you said social validation, social media or social validation, we of course like it when people appreciate us. But I have kind of worked on this because I have realized that everyone will be, there might be people who might be way, way, way better than you.
Yeah,
But
of course. There's always somebody better than you, 100%.
Exactly. But how do you kind of even stand right next to them and feel good about yourself is what is important.
Yeah, 100%.
So not when people tell you, "Arey, you are," because I've seen a lot of people even giving fake validation these days.
Yeah.
They don't give true validation. Like today, if I'm commenting on someone's picture, I only make sure that I like that picture and I do it. Obviously, and then I think one needs to be, social media has kind of spoiled this. I feel, I'm not saying it's given a lot of opportunities, because for me, social media has opened a lot of doors. But I think I upload a picture for myself. There's obviously somewhere I do upload pictures to let my people know that, listen, I'm still alive.
Yeah, marketing.
I'm still there.
Largely,
Yeah,
I
of
would
course,
call it
marketing.
skill
Exactly.
sets. Yeah.
But not where I need validation. I don't need validation, because I really have worked on that. I don't need social media validation, because today when I see these kids who are trying to, and I'm not saying that, whatever, I mean, you don't wear or you do whatever certain things you want to. But I think people need to have this knowledge. People need to kind of tell today's generation that to use social media in the right way and not wait for validation. Have self-confidence. Learn to love yourself first, and then, because if you love yourself so much, like if you love yourself, you'll be able to present yourself right to people. And that's when people will like you, and that's when, then again, it comes to validation. So that is fine.
Just looping it back to the conversation of why empower women? Like, why?
For me, I think I want to empower women is because I want them to, be very strong, independent, not be codependent on something. And because I have seen myself as a very strong, independent person. I think I want that from the others.
Yeah,
you
want to help people be
I want to help people to be more. When I say, it technically comes from confidence, because if you're confident and you're independent, you can actually rule the world.
Yeah.
And you can do whatever. Hence, that Beyonce song, "Girls Who Run the World," because women can, and women have the ability and the power to do a lot of things. Like we can be mothers, sisters, daughters, girlfriend, and with that, all multitasking can still be strong, independent women.
Yeah.
So it's very important. It was very important for me to empower women, is to let them know their worth.
Yeah. So
And
it's like the purpose is to help women find their inner strength and be more confident.
Yes, because
Wow.
Because after, like, I'm telling you, Clint, while I was training, when I train women, they've been a decade older than me. They've been the best in their careers. They earn a package worth, lakhs of rupees per month. But still, after having everything in their life, a perfect marriage, perfect life, perfect job, perfect everything, you're still not confident. You still won't be able to kind of, be independent out there. And
so you find areas where you can help them with more inner strength, because they might be the best in many things in life, in their domain expertise, but there are still maybe, let's say, social confidence. There could be, it can be based on many other factors. So you basically help them cement those empty areas largely for them.
Yes.
Wow. And as you said, why empower women? Because one empowered woman can further empower a family, empower their children, they further go out, and it's that whole loop that comes along.
Because I think women are multitasking all the time, and we have so much to do in life. I know my clients who are working all day, who wake up early in the morning, cook, then go to work, and then used to come attend my session. So this is, and then go back home to cook and sit, have dinner with your family again. So they have dreams, but then there's no one to kind of push them, and that hence I want to empower them to do what they want to do in life, and kind of give them that courage. And like I said, let them know their worth, that you are the best, you can do whatever you want in and you can still go further, and whatever you learn from here, tell people, and that's how you will be able to empower the other women.
So Audie, come on, let's make this a little personal and fun and interesting. Tell us the story, tell our viewers the story of how we met. Met for the first time like that.
We met at the LQ Awards
2019,
where I had entered. You were standing near the bar, and you look at me. I don't know if that's how you start your trick. You used to start your trick with girls, but you looked at me and you were like, you were taking coffee for yourself near the coffee table. You were taking coffee for yourself, and you were like, hey, have I seen you before? I think I have seen you before.
I told you that?
Yes.
Oh, really?
You don't remember that.
Oh, that used to be like my... that used to be my icebreaker.
Achha, so that's how you used to start talking to
No, I mean, I'm just kidding,
I think
but maybe I would have...
I've seen you somewhere. I've seen you somewhere. Where have we met before?
And then what did you say?
And then I'm like, I don't know. Then you're like, what's your name? I said, Audrey. And then you're like, oh, yes, I think we've met Audrey before.
Oh, yeah?
And yes, I think maybe that's how you ask me.
No, that's not my standard, okay, what do they call it? Operation, operandus or whatever. Modus operandi, that's not my modus operandi, but yeah, I mean, I remember having heard of you and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Now that you're caught, don't cover it up.
No,
but
but
that's how we met. You were wearing this red and black hoodie that now I've started wearing.
Oh, okay, all right.
And you looked very handsome. I mean, you looked so hot to me because, your personality, your height and all was like, ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Very hot.
Okay.
And,
has that thought changed after being a girlfriend now?
Depends on my mood, actually.
Oh, nice. Now this is what they say, ghar ki murgi, dal barabar.
So you were performing that night, you were hosting that event, and I was sitting in the first row.
Oh. Just to let you know.
You didn't notice me at all?
And I don't even remember having this discussion with you by the coffee bar or whatever that. But yeah,
how many women did you talk to that?
I was hosting that night.
Maybe you spoke to a lot of women and I told you I'm not a people's person. So so when after the host, after the gig, we went to your room, everyone was chilling. I was literally sitting at another corner of the room. I went out. If you have a video of that night, you also have me in that video, but then I was again towards myself, ऐसे कोने में बैठी हुई थी, and I was enjoying. I mean, I like looking at people, and yeah, I mean, that's how we met. Then the next we met once at your house where I had come from a party, but then we kind of dated after the lockdown. We used to talk a lot.
Yeah, you used to send me those flirty messages on Instagram.
I still love flirting with you.
Oh my god, I was like so cheesy.
I've forgotten my flirting skills. I was thinking about it today.
Because
I used to flirt so much with you.
You used to flirt a lot, yeah.
I used to flirt a lot.
I'm sure you used to flirt with a lot of other guys as well.
Yes, and you.
Look at the excitement on your face. Yes.
No, I think I did flirt a lot with you.
Yeah.
A lot with you because...
I used to kind of avoid it also, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Shut up. You like the attention. Shut up.
No, but there's like a common history between us. So,
no.
So I said, yeah, whatever.
But then, yeah, I mean, you liked the attention, but you just didn't want to kind of show it.
And I think that was also the time when around, I was getting a lot of attention from women in general, and I was really enjoying a lot of that. Though it was the lockdown, there was a lot of unlockdown activities that was going around. And I'm sure even in your life as well, we both have had a lot of unlockdown moments in our lives. But what's more exciting is the fact that today when I look at it, it looks all very different. I never thought that, it's been almost more than half a year since we've kind of been seeing each other.
And yeah, man. I mean, I was just thinking to myself today while getting ready that that last that I was going to Goa, and then I was talking to my friend. I was telling her about that this guy I met. I've just started talking to him. It's been a week. देखते हैं कैसा जाता है. ठीक हुआ तो ठीक हुआ. Otherwise forget. And Goa is where I told you that let's just try, let's just see how it works. And now it's been half a year. I mean, we're together, man.
You insisted on making this work out.
Yes, of course. I wanted to get into. I wanted to be with you. I didn't know.
Your confidence. Like this guy. Let's get him.
I didn't know. I didn't know that if I was ready for like a proper relationship, because I've never had a long relationship where I really wanted to get in and be like, okay, this one's the one. So I think with you it just happened because you're not, your attitude of not giving up is what worked. Because for me, being that person who's so clingy at times or annoying or whatever, or I'm very annoying or whatever. I think because only person who used to see my mood swings were either my parents or my manager. Two people who've literally seen my personally seen my mood swings are these two, my parents. 3 people.
Thanks for allowing me the privilege of experiencing your mood swings. Well done.
First-handed, you just say. But yeah. So I really like that you always, like I said, given a purpose to a lot of things. You've made this work out. You've expressed your love to me. You've been a kid around me, and you've been that person who's expressed your love so much to me that I'm happy. I mean, I don't want to give up on this either.
Cheers, dude. Yay! And on that note, okay, Audi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
I love you.
Love you too. And boom, bye. We'll see you in the next episode. We'll get some more funky guests on board. And you guys keep smiling, keep spreading smiles, and stay happy. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. We truly believe that you enjoyed watching this video, and if you think this video can add some value in your friends and family's lives, please go ahead, like, share, and comment on the video, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Our podcast is also available in the audio format across all these platforms. Links are given below. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Engage and Inspire podcast. And this is what's going to happen.
Everything that I learned with it, like how to respond in front of a camera, how to read from a teleprompter, how to go live and millions of people are watching. It's nothing close to what you do on screen. It's a different ball game altogether.